Postcard from the queue. Numbers on the map refer to the postcards illustrated in this book. The Temple of the Sun. The Temple of the Sun, erected by Sir William Campbell, is sadly no longer to be seen, and used to stand between the Orangery and the Tea Range until on 28 March 1916. During a violent storm, a large cedar of Lebanon fell on and demolished it. As it was constructed of brass and plaster and not of solid stone, the damage was quite irreparable, and maidenhair tree, Ginkgo biloba, planted by Queen Mary in 1923, now stand on the site. 1415 Kew Garden Sun Temple. Stone pine, one of the oldest exotic trees of Kew. At Kew is the elegant stone pine, Pinus pinea, a native of the Mediterranean and a characteristic species of Italian landscapes. It's sited near the privilege ground at the back of the director's office, and it has elderable siege. 16. Temple of the Sun, Kew Garden. 17. Stone Pine. Cambridge Cottage. The Wood Museum, or Museum Number 4, is a part of the Cambridge Cottage, originally the residence of the Dukes of Cambridge. Queen Mary spent much of her girlhood in the cottage and its ground. After the death of the last Duke, the house and gardens were presented to Kew by King Edward VII. The attractive walled garden has been kept as far as possible as an old-fashioned flower garden. The main building was opened to the public in 1910 as the Museum of British Forestry, but later, in 1955-1957, became a general wood and timber museum with special emphasis on Commonwealth timbers. 18. Bordering the south-facing wall of Cambridge Cottage Garden in the Duchess Border, formerly known as the Duchess Walk, exotic shrub and climbers planted along the wall survive even the most bleak of English winters. The Duchess Walk, Kew Garden. 19. The Rock Garden. The Rock Garden, best visited in early summer, was constructed in 1882 during the regime of Sir Joseph Hooker for the reception of a collection of herbaceous plants, many alpine, presented by the executor of George C. George of Wimbledon. It was intended to reproduce the rocky course of a perennial stream with the dripping well, Kew Garden. The 157 meters long path representing the stream bed, a design which has not always been consistently followed. The principal rock used in original landscaping was cedar limestone, but this has been largely replaced with success sandstone, which hold water better and heat up less. The modern Alpine house, close to the Jodrell Laboratory, was opened in 1981 and should not be missed. 21. The Rock Garden, Kew Garden. Visitors are not permitted to remain at Kew after dark, so this presents a scene that you will not otherwise else. 22. Kew Gardens, the Rockery. The dripping well forms part of the watercourse in the rock garden. 23. The rose pergola. Behind the hibiscus water bed is the rose pergola. Card 24. The rose pergola Q card. The plants in the water bed are arranged in families following the classification of Bentham and Hooker, and are ideal for teaching students of botany. Tea range glass houses. In addition to the famous farm and temperate house, there had been many lesser-known glass houses at Kew, some of which still stand today. House numbers 7 to 14 constitute the tea range, so named because of their combined shape, slightly altered by later additions. They were all removed to make way for the Princess of Wales Conservatory, opened in July 1987. Greenhouse number 425. Kew Gardens Greenhouse number 4 was the original conservatory devoted to the display of flowers in season. Card 26 shows one of the orchid houses that formed part of the tea range complex. House number 10 at the center of the tea range was Water Lily House, later known as the Victoria Amazonia House, famous for its yearly display of the giant Amazon water lily, formerly V. regia, after Queen Victoria, as seen on the top. Oileti, Garden 27. Kew Gardens Victoria regia House. Card 24 of RS and Co. Card 28 in this book. 28. Kew Garden Orchid House is erroneously labeled Orchid House to illustrate House 10 in the days when Victoria Amazonia was cultivated in house number 15, a small hot house to the north of the farmhouse. Hope you are quite well and not feeling very dull. Victoria Amazonica. Victoria Amazonica produced giant leaves that can reach 6 feet in diameter and support a small child. It first flowered at Kew in 1850. The flowers produced in summer open in the evening and are pure white, but fade to pink or purple within 24 hours. The species is still grown in the Princess of Wales Conservatory, where it's one of the star attractions. With best wishes for Christmas and New Year. 29, 30.